So how do you implement coaching successfully in organisations? That's what we're going to be looking at in the next 3 presentations. At the end of these 3 sessions, you'll be able to assess the factors to consider when implementing coaching, evaluate the keys to successful implementation, and plan the implementation of a coaching intervention. From your knowledge and study so far, write down all the factors you consider important to think about in implementation of a coaching intervention. So, to start with, you'd want to think about goals and objectives. And to think about what is it that the organisation wants to achieve from implementing coaching. How will it help the organisation achieve its objectives and aims? And it's useful to use the same questions for the organisation as you'd use with a client in a coaching session to set goals. So write down what questions from goal setting with a client would also be appropriate for an organisation or department to ask itself if it were introducing coaching. What questions would not be appropriate? The main things an organisation would want to think about will be getting commitment and buy-in, creating a culture that supports coaching, managing expectations and preparing participants, the practical arrangements, and setting up an evaluation system. So we're going to look at each of these in turn. So let's start by thinking about getting commitment and buy-in. Why is this so important? Well, without the commitment and buy-in of a significant proportion of the people in an organisation, then it's not going to have enough energy behind it to succeed. There will be some people who will be committed from the very start, and others who gradually see the benefits, and some who will remain largely uncommitted. The important factor is to get enough people behind the proposal that it has a very good chance of working. So you'll want to think about all the stakeholders that might be involved. That could include senior managers, people who will be coached, other employees, line managers, human resources department, and the coaches. Here's an exercise about commitment. For this exercise, note down who else may be a stakeholder in the process, and then write down the ways that you could use to get commitment and buy-in from all the stakeholders. Here are some answers that you may have thought of. There is involving stakeholders as much as possible in the goal setting and planning process. The more they're involved, the more they're likely to understand the benefits that coaching can bring and to be committed and to tell others about it. They become your ambassadors. An organisation may want to plan a full internal marketing programme to get buy-in. That is a series of events, talks, information providing, enjoyable activities, etc. that will help to explain what is involved in coaching and how it will benefit everyone. Some organisations may think it appropriate to offer incentives if people take up coaching. This can be effective, and it's important to consider that sometimes this leads people to do things for the wrong reasons. Role modelling is another way. That the people who are responsible for implementing the coaching have coaching themselves and or train as coaches, and through that others notice the changes in them and how much they're achieving. Organisations can hold meetings and forums about coaching and their plans for implementation so that people know the benefits and can build informed expectations. Another way is through sampling. That is to offer trial coaching sessions for key influencers in the organisation so that they can spread the word. I'm sure you came up with many more creative ideas. The second thing on our list of implementation factors was creating a culture that supports learning. Write down what, additional to the learning organisational concept, would want to be considered in creating such a culture.